Okay, so believe all women plus age gap is bad because of power plus I like older guys, which we should believe that she likes power, which is bad because... Hang on a minute.
Welcome, my friends, to Antoine Phoenix, my RP experience. I'm gonna say the other name, but because I got so used to saying it, well, the old name that I used to have. Okay, you don't want to hear any of that. You want to hear what the video is about. Today's video is going to be about age gap relationships. Now, of course, though, I believe this is a case by case basis. I have two videos here, one featuring Chris Evans by creator. I don't know the guy's name, but it should flash on the clip that I'm going to use. And of course, this woman made a video about it. And she makes some good points because not every guy that goes for a younger woman has good intentions, but is any woman that goes for a wealthy guy, is that good intentions? I'm just using that because men and women look for different things. And yeah, okay. I'm going to start playing her video first and then I'll react to it. So I'll be right back. And and guys, I got one more hurdle that I need to get through. The watch time hours thing that YouTube have. So please do me a favor. Not as much as with subscribing, which you can do that and like it after a bit of time, but at least watch half of this video. I prefer you watch the whole thing. Watch the whole thing. I'm going to try and make it short today. It should be no more than maybe 13 to 15 minutes. So, okay, let me start playing her clip.
See, when they're 19, you can train them.
Okay, so this is what I mean when I say that they are saying the quiet part out loud now. They're not talking to their guy friends about this at the pub. They're going on podcasts. They're getting interviewed in the street and they're getting asked these questions and they're just openly admitting it to it now. Because here's the thing, is that a lot of the times they will pretend this isn't what it is. Will pretend, okay, that they're actually interested in women that age because they think that they're so smart and they're so funny and they're so attractive and they're all these things. When we break it down, okay.
Okay, lady, you make a good point right here. But of course, though, you're generalizing again, and it's not all men that do that. Sure, there are men that will try to get a woman younger to manipulate and control. That does happen. But I could say the same thing with women that are being bold of saying they want a six-figure man, 6-foot man. Are they liking them because they're a good person in their personality? No, they are liking them because they can provide them a lifestyle. So in both ways is wrong, but is not wrong in a way that a woman wants a man to be financially sound. It's just that when she looks at it in a selfish way of just trying to benefit for herself, then it's bad. The same way, I guess, as a man of like, you're just targeting younger women so you can take advantage of them. Now, I will say, I think younger women will tend to have less baggage. And bear in mind, I'm a man that I've dated a woman that is like 8, 7 years younger than me, even 10. And I've dated a woman that was 10 years older than me. But at the time, I was 26 when I dated a woman that was 36. I would not do that now being older because I'm sorry, most women do not keep themselves up. I go to the gym and I stay fit. Uh, Now, I will agree. Well, you're going to say something later about podcast guys. And probably I am rare here. Her age does not matter as much. Not that I want kids right now anyway, but it does depend how she looks. She doesn't have to be a fashion model, but she has to be healthy and fit. So, a lot of women, once they get over a certain age, tend to let themselves go. And I'm sorry, that is true. So if I'm going to be in shape, she should be in shape too, as much as she can be. Uh, I mean, she don't have to be the perfect specimen, and I understand if she's had kids, her body's going to change. But I always see when a woman is single, she tries harder to keep herself up until she gets a guy. But it's not all women, but I see a lot of women do that.
Okay? This is what it's about. They're easier to manipulate because these women don't see the same red flags that an older woman does. Because we've already done it. You know, when they say, women don't like nice men. The podcast will say, like, oh, she picked bad men her whole life and then she finally decides that she wants a good one. It's because you learn trial and error. Because these bad men, you don't think when you go into dating that this man is being this intentionally manipulative, that he's doing these things intentionally, especially when it's somebody your own age. You're like, yeah, like we're on the same wavelength. Like he couldn't be that malicious, that mean. And then as you get older, you realize, oh, yeah, that person was intentionally doing that. That was a red flag. I didn't know that was a red flag because I don't have enough experience in dating. But as I get older and I gain that experience and I gain that knowledge and I can acknowledge and pick out red flags because, last time that red flag that I thought was just me overreacting or me looking too much into things, or a guy said like, oh no, that's just the way men are. I realized that's not just the way that men are.
Okay, I will admit, men that have podcasts, maybe even myself, does generalize here that when women pick bad men when they are younger, uh, that yes, eventually they learn what is what and they'll want a nicer guy later. But, however, though, it still does depend on the damage of what that woman has been through while picking those bad men. If she has like 2, 3 kids later and she's totally a lot older, out of shape, what benefit does it be for the guy to get with that woman that has wasted her good years when she looked good, and now she's not good, and then she has a bunch of kids by another guy? If a guy has options and he has money, why should he have to deal with that? You explain to me the same way as a woman. uh I'm pretty sure you feel like most other women that you deserve the world and you deserve a guy to spoil you and court you and wine and dine you. You think you deserve that. And even more so as you get older. But understand, the things that men usually want from women starts to fade by that time. And that is the honest truth. Like me, I will look for a woman's inner character more. If she's halfway decent and has a great character, then fine. But I find that hard to believe if all she has dated is bad dudes. And I understand there are some dudes that will fool you, just like his women that have fooled me. Uh, but those are usually those ones that they act like they're nice, and then when you get to know them, they're not so nice. But if you are a woman going for, especially in my culture, going for guys that their pants is falling down and they are rappers and Yes, they are fun. They are guys that have a lot of, they're good to have fun with. But to be in a serious relationship, no, it's not going to work. He's going to break your heart. So then you're going to get damaged by those guys that you kept dating, and then try to get with a good guy that you're going to eventually get bored of, and then go back to one of those guys to cheat or to you know have an itch scratch that you haven't had in a while. Just saying.
That was a red flag, and I've learned. Which is why these podcast bros, when they say pick better, oh, you were in a shitty relationship, pick better. The reason that no one's picking these podcast bros is because we're picking better. We're smart enough to realize it, which is why they're going for young girls. But here's the thing. They're going to treat these young girls the same way that all of us were treated by shitty men when we were younger. And not all of the women were treated shitty by shitty men, because obviously people get married and they're in happy relationships. And not every single relationship that ends is because a man is being shitty. Sometimes you just have a mutual understanding that this isn't going to work out. But these men, these podcast bros, are going to treat women like absolute trash. And then as these women get older, they're going to be like, oh my God, those were red flags. Him talking like that was a red flag. Him dating a younger woman was red flag. And those women will pick better. And they won't be picking the podcast pros. And it's this endless cycle of older men going for younger women because women their age don't want them. And then they sit there and they go, nobody wants older women. No. Nobody wants older men who treat women like trash. You have to go and date women who have no experience, traumatize them, so when they get older, they're going to warn the younger generation the same way we're warning the young 20-year-olds that these men don't actually like you, they like manipulating you, and nobody their age would put up with the bullshit that you're putting up with.
All right, I have to admit that you make some great points right here. I think you're a little off with generalizing all people, but however, though, when you were saying the podcast guys, yes, I do think most of the podcast guys, 80-90%, uh, yeah, they're into the manipulating thing, and they probably will treat those women bad because they will, well, they're hurt, they have trauma, and they're just going to put that out there. Now, as far as um, women not wanting older men, look, I already know that women, you may say that you want a guy that's nice or something, boring, but you want, above all else, is not to be bored. And that little example that you say that they agree that it won't work in a relationship, that's the cop out thing of the woman got bored, because a man will rarely leave a relationship unless if she was totally stressing him out, or like now some men will do the Jeezy of getting out of a relationship early, even a marriage, when he sees that he's not going to get his needs fulfilled by his wife, which I agree with that, because women are on that thing of like, well, I'm not happy anymore, it's time to go. So as long as there's no kids involved, then fine, just leave. Uh but however, though, both men and women are doing that thing of like leaving, and there's kids involved, and then they're being brought up into a broke home. And that's not even getting into a thing of if the woman has kids. Most of the time, younger women don't have kids. Not all the time, but a lot of times women don't. When you get with an older woman, automatically she has kids. So uh and especially if it's like a newborn, so it's kind of like, how are you going to date this person, and this person really needs to concentrate on the kids. So that's something that you left out of there. um and to put that thing of how people learn from their past relationships, yeah, sure, that does apply. But once again, if you're constantly dating the same type of dude, then that must be your type. It's the same thing if I'm, as a man, is constantly chasing after strippers or Instagram models, women that's just prided on their looks, and then I'm going to complain later that these women are gold diggers. Like, I'm going to say all women are gold diggers, because the women that I'm picking is kind of in that realm of most of them are. Not all of them, but most of them are going to be on that energy. So that's the same cop out that you're making with the women. Anyway, there's some more things that I could say, but I want this to be a short video. But I do think some age gap relationships can work. Uh, but I do think that the man should not be controlling the woman. Let her live her life. But however, though, if she's not, if y'all not compatible and she's going to be reckless or cheating on you or either pushing your boundaries too much, then leave her early and try to leave her when there are no kids on the table. That's the thing that both men and women keep messing up on. You keep messing up these kids that's coming up in these single parent homes and things like that. And the men are going to be more effeminate. They're not going to have a strong male role model there. And the women, most of the girls growing up is going to grow up hating a man. But yet they're still going to want to deal with men, mostly to see what they can get out of them. So anyway, that's it. God bless. Have a good day. Give me a like, subscribe, and hopefully you watch this whole video. Watch another one of my videos and help me get my watch time hours up. And turn on all notifications. Thank you.
Chris Evans ended his time with Marvel being an old man, but now for one very important decision in his life, he's being called too old. This comes with Chris Evans, who's 42 years old, getting married to his girlfriend Alba Batista, who's 26 years old. The two were married privately in Cape Cod, with some of the Marvel co-stars coming, but people are wondering if the 16-year age gap is too much. The timeline on Chris Evans' relationships, his longest running relationship ever was with Jessica Biel from 2001 to 2006, where he was 20 years old and she was 19. For the most part, Chris Evans has dated people around his own age, with one notable exception being Sandra Bullock, who's 16 years older than him. The relationship only went for a year. At the time, many journalists were calling it empowering to see Sandra Bullock, who was 49 at the time, dating Chris Evans, who was 33. But even though Chris Evans has no history or pattern of dating younger women, he's still getting criticized for not following the half your age plus 7 rule. Many people have also started attacking Alba Batista, accusing her of being some sort of gold digger in it for the fame or money with Chris Evans. That's not true, because she was already a successful actress beforehand, doing multiple movies on Netflix and for other streaming services. This leaves a real mystery to the public on why she'd want to date Chris Evans that no one can figure out. This marriage is fine with that. I'm Charles Pearl. Subscribe to learn something. Chris Evans ended his time.
We do not live by your rules, dirty word. Your ego has driven you out of truth. You only played yourself, got no game.